Hello, beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a fantastic afternoon. It is your host, AikoBliss, and I'm here to give you love, attention, and affection as always. I think I'm just talking to myself right now, so I'm enjoying a moment of peace before I assume at least 2 people come in. Hey, what's up, Rob? Having a good day? I am. I'm having a great day. I just recently woke up actually. Somewhere around like 1:30. Not a good time to wake up. I should wake up way earlier, but I've been sleeping so well. I just want to sleep and dream. You know what I mean? Hello, MK. Hello, Kind. Hello, Japated. Hamsbud. Hamsbud. What's a Hamsbud? Hello, beautiful people. Hello, 75. I've been enjoying my sleep arena. Oh, MK, 17 months? Holy shit, that's a long time. Thank you so much for the long time of support. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Dar? Hi, Jamal. One more day. More one day. True. Very true, not false. Giving zero falseness. Hello, Sampras. How are you? This is a little weird. Do I need to pull you guys like that? That's a little better. Now we're together. Can you shout out my ice cream company? No. Also, clever introduction into the, I swallow meme, but the problem is the execution has been done so many times before that the only people who are going to fall for it are the people that want you to put them up on some kind of live stream fails or YouTube video. So, I mean, the probability of getting a genuine reaction out of that on this day and age on the internet, really low. Hello, Robs. How are you? Hey, what's up, 3? How are you? Hi, everyone. Hi, Firstborn. The honeypot is back. Yes, sir. I was learning today. I know. It's how salacious. Wait, how audacious. I guess salacious is more in a sexual manner. Causing controversy through sexuality or something like that, right? Being salacious. How audacious of me to learn. That's probably better. The audacity. I was learning about these cool things in California called these black balls. I know, you're about to get real excited about it. I said black balls, now you guys can only think about your penis. However, these black balls are made for the water filtration systems in California, and they use these like bromide. I think it's made out of bromide, or it's to stop interactions from the bromide to make bromide. Yeah, that's what it is. So bromide, when it's in sunlight, causes bromide. Bromide is carcinogenic, right? So they do this ways of filtering it. But the chlorine that they were using when they was in these pools that were waiting to be drinking water, when the sun hits the chlorine that keeps the water clean, it makes bromate, which is carcinogenic, not good, right? So they found out that the way to keep the water from heating up from the sunlight was to make these like black balls, and they made like 1 million black balls, not even a joke, or 100,000, I can't recall, like a lot of black balls, and they put them on top of the water, and they filled them up with a little bit of water so they wouldn't blow away. And not only does it keep the sunlight from going onto the water and causing a carcinogenic chemical, bromate, but also the cool thing is that it keeps birds away, and that was the original purpose of the balls, for like tarmacs on the in water areas near airports, because birds would go over there and then the birds would get into the jet engines, and that was not good. So that's the cool piece of information I learned today. Any askers? Anyone who joins into my stream automatically is asking, as you have officially entered into my zone. This is the Aiko zone. You see, Your zone? Over there. My zone? Here. Automatic asking. Why are you talking about my my balls? Not your balls, the little like black balls that they use for filtration. Hey S3, good to see you. So real cool way to stop carcinogens. Bad thing is they're using chlorine in the water and the drinking water in LA, which doesn't sound good. Kind of sounds a little gross. Not really positive on why we have chlorine in the drinking water in LA, but okay. Asking is a clause of entry. Exactly. There's no avoiding. Hey, what's up? Hi. Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball. Dragging these balls across your face. Hello everyone. Happy day. What day is this? Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Happy Wednesday, hump day. On Monday, I talked about how Wednesday was hump day, which meant it was the middle of the week. And Monday was a good day because it meant that you could work really hard on all the things you need to work on. And then by Wednesday, you could start coasting the rest of the week. Did you guys take that advice into consideration? And if so, how is your week going now in retrospect to the week you might have had previously? Is it better? Is it worse? Did I give bad advice or good advice? So it's chemistry today with the Dwarven Tavern Witch. Yes! A little bit of chemistry. But technically, physics and chemistry, very fun. Little wombo combo there. I would assume it's physics. Maybe it's just pure chemistry. I would think they even need physics for the balls and chemistry for the chemical compounds. Little fun. I'm just waiting on the contractors until that I can't do anything with my work. That's part of the fun now. You get to coast until you get the contractors. So you can either, well, I guess it doesn't matter because in certain areas you can't do anything until people start doing something because you don't get your new set of work until you see what they did with your old work. So good luck, have fun with that. I hope it all works out. I love lenses with physics, but we skipped that part in our class. No! You tell them, go back. Why you like my balls? I feel like you didn't get the premise of the black ball situation in the water in LA, but it's okay. I can reiterate if necessary. Well, it was years ago in high school, tough to go back. That's true. Did they let you back in high school if you ask really politely? Like, hey, I know I graduated. I feel like I didn't really learn what I needed to learn. Can I go back and figure all this shit out again? Or do you have to do that on your own? Because I feel like elementary school, middle school, and high school, I was rushed through every subject and I didn't really get a chance to digest it. And so now I can't really recall anything except for Anno Domini, meaning in the year of our Lord, which is the actual abbreviation for 80 instead of after death, which most people assume. Alternatively, BC is before Christ, but BCE is before Common Era. Funny, because some people don't actually believe in in Jesus as a human, or they don't really like the religious aspect of it. So they like saying before Common Era instead. I broke up from 7-year relationship. I'm so wasted, I don't know which way I should be. Hey, just hang out in here, have a good time. We'll talk about some fun stuff and you can look at titties. It's like a 2-for-1. I can just go in. I was nice to teachers and stuff, so I bring a piece of cake or something, boom, I'm in. Hey, big brain, look at you. It's the wombo combo. You get some boobs, you get some knowledge. Everything is fun here in the AikoBliss stream. Enjoy your breakup. I just got out of a 9-year relationship a couple months ago, so I know the feel, you know? It happens. You gotta go through your mourning period. Not mourning, M-O-R-I-N-G, but mourning, M-O-U-R-I-N-G, N-I-N-G, mourning, period, and let your brain. So, actually, the funny thing is I just learned this the other day. Fun learning. I learned, actually, that our brains, when we're in a toxic relationship or in a relationship that's not really working out, will internalize that trauma really heavily. And when the relationship's over, it can feel even more painful than it would have been if it was a more healthy relationship that came to an end. So that's pretty cool. And that it can feel just as traumatic. Why you look cute and hot? It's kind of my thing. You've lost weight. I'm wearing black. It doesn't count. Maybe it's that subconscious waste of time. Actually possible. Actually very possible. It's why people have a hard time getting out of abusive relationships, because you go through such a hard mourning period, MOURNING, that you have to relive a lot of the trauma over again, you know? And it's also one of the reasons people go from relationships people stay in abusive relationships is because that feeling that you get when somebody is nice to you after being, you know, physically attacked, emotionally attacked, or, you know, sexually, whatever, can feel so good after being so down that it feels like almost a drug in feeling. Thanks for your support. It's actually helping just to listen to your talk. Hey, of course. That's what I'm here for. Oh, 75. Hey, my girlfriend just dumped me and blocked me. Hey, it just means you're up for a new girlfriend to hang out with, or, you know what, hang out with the boys. Or, you know what, do whatever you want. It's your life. You don't have to be destined to be in a relationship or destined to be around anyone at all, you know? The reality of life is you get to choose your partner, and your partner gets to be somebody who you want to spend time with and just have a best friend and travel and do those kind of things with. Don't put too much strain on the idea of relationships. If it doesn't work out with that person, you can always find a new best friend, you know? You know that old meme? The old meme that goes like, Sahid is no longer my best friend. Blah 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 is my new best friend now, or something, and it crosses like out his name and stuff, and that's the way relationships are. Single and mingle is the way. Yeah, enjoy. Is this a you got dumped convention? It seems to be that way. It seems as though we all go through breakups. And yeah, they're painful, but the fun thing about it is they're not painful forever. You move on, you go through it, you start to reflect on things, and you look back and go, maybe that's not working for me. Maybe I needed something a little differently in my life. Maybe, you know, maybe it's for the best, or maybe I messed up, and now I know not to do those things again, and to appreciate what I have, and not to get into a position where I'm not appreciative. Or whatever, you know, every relationship is different, and just because yours doesn't fall into the examples I gave doesn't mean that there aren't things to reflect on and think, okay, well, how could my relationship have gone better? What could I have worked on? Not demonizing yourself for the mistakes you made, because everyone makes mistakes, but learning and growing from the mistakes you made, and saying, this is how I can make my life a little better. I need to find a girlfriend quick before I die. My stairs are trying to kill me? What? Your stairs? Have I seen any gators yet? I have not seen any gators. ¿Dónde están las gators? Las gatores? I don't know how to say them in Spanish, but actually, no, I haven't seen any. Where are they? It's helping both of us, me and my ex, that we didn't mess up our whole relationship. I mean, that we still care about each other, but we realize that we can't be together anymore. Yeah, we still are still there for each other. It's a huge bright side of breaking up, and it's super, super mature that you guys are able to continue on your friendship, and that things didn't end sourly. Sometimes they do end sourly, and that's okay too. But it's super cool that you guys still have that friendship and that bond, and that's something special, and I'm happy that you still get to have that beauty. This emote is for you. That emote is for me! How perfect, thank you! Hey, Griffin. I fell down them today. It has been years, but if this keeps going, I'll die. I went to the hospital today. Oh my god, I hope you feel better. If you keep falling down the stairs, it might be a good idea to possibly find a location without stairs to live in, you know? And maybe to use elevators or escalators. And to talk to your doctor about maybe having some kind of coordination issues. Because it seems like if you're falling down the stairs a lot, naturally, you know, without anyone pushing you, it sounds like you might have some kind of muscle issue or coordination issue, or kind of like you would be having an issue to make it so you have a hard time walking up the stairs. How was my day? It was beautiful. I had a great day. I woke up, and that was already positive enough. I could have not woken up, which would have been really sucky. So pretty appreciative of that I got to get up today. I went and took my dog for a walk. And while I was watching TikTok, sorry, I was watching TikTok, and I didn't notice that where did I put that drink? I didn't notice that the guy who was doing the gardening for my apartment complex was out there, and he was waiting for me to get out of the way so that he could finish blowing the thing. And I was like in my head, waiting for my dog to finish pooping, all this stuff. And then like I went back inside and I realized he was standing there for probably 2 minutes, and I felt really awful that I hadn't noticed sooner. I wish I could have given him some lemonade or something for wasting his time. I feel really bad now. Well, tomorrow our stairs are wood and old, and they're so smooth because of long use. They're like a polished floor, and it's a slip and slide. I think that you can get something to help with that. You can get like stair carpet or something like that. Hey, what's up, Wit? So yeah, that's my story. Hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. I have a drink that I put somewhere. You know the problem with being these things just end up all over the place and I never know where they are. And I swear I brought it into my room, but the possibility is endless for it to be anywhere in this house, because that's who I am. Do you guys have that problem where things just end up in places and you just think to yourself, oh no, where did I put that? And then you find it later inside the refrigerator. Because that's what happens to me. Not the coffee, it will be my phone in the refrigerator, or, unfortunately one time, my phone inside of the washing machine. All they do is blow dirt on people's car. Sorry, bro, I'm the only dude on my bed. No! Do I have space for you? What? Science talk. What's your professional opinion on thigh gaps? Okay, thigh gaps, not my thing. Personal. I like thick thighs and I cannot lie. However, the space between where the thigh fat starts and the vagina ends, the little triangle, the penis triangle is what I like to call it, because you could put your pee-pee there. I like that a lot. It's like a little heart, you know? Important question, does size matter? No, of course not. So we could see your fat body. Aw, thanks, man. ¿Qué tal? What's up? Not much, no. ¿Cómo estás? I call BS on that? What do you mean you call BS on that? I like that. Oh, size matters. No, I don't think size matters. I was actually talking to my friend last night, and he was saying that, you know, so he prefers a smaller peepee because it's less of a work to do, and I kind of agree with him on that. Although size to me doesn't really matter. It really matters the emotional connection I have with the person and how the foreplay goes and everything like that. If I feel emotionally connected to another person and I feel love with another person, I get off way more than it. Like, it doesn't matter the peepee, you know what I mean? Hey, Lobo. Are you okay? Do you need something? I need to figure out where the hell I put my coffee, but I don't know. It's somewhere in this house. I'm gonna find a very old coffee somewhere in this house. Look at those thighs, Heavenly. Thank you. Now, the issue is you can't do certain positions if you're too small. Like, what position? I don't know what position we're worried about doing that we're too small. Alright, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. Most people aren't gonna want to do more than like 4 positions max in the bedroom. I feel like it's a lot of work. You guys are watching a lot of porn here. I'm gonna restructure your brain. When you're in the bedroom, getting up and doing a whole new position is like, you gotta stop in the middle of what you're doing, change everything around, and then it's gonna take like another 5 minutes to get back into a motion again that's like a semblance of enjoyment. And then if you like have to change the position again, you're stopping everything you're doing and you're doing that. It's good sometimes, but most of the time you're gonna probably just want to go for the good old doggy style, missionary style, or, you know, cowgirl. It's like the three prime, you know, when you're talking about the holy trinity in an MMORPG, you got healer, you got tank, you got DPS. DPS is like doing doggy, tank is like doing missionary style, and healer is like doing cowgirl. You know what I mean? You drinking coffee? I love coffee. So for you need the brain juices flowing, not just downstairs. Also, porn poses are so uncomfortable. It's like a fit in the shape program. Yeah, the porn. I'm a carry. Holy Trinity, me, you, and God, angels. You know, the whole porn aspect of relationships kind of goes out the window after a while. You're kind of like, all right. I think we're a little too old to want to keep doing these 400 positions. Can we just pick some of them we like and enjoy? Although trying something new to spice up the relationship is fun, but doing like 40 different poses and trying to figure out like the puzzle you're trying to put together when you're trying to get laid is, I mean, not that it matters for you guys anyway. You're gonna last like 5 seconds in bed, so as soon as the girl pulls down her pants and your pee-pee gets anywhere near her vagina, you're gonna be busting the nut so fast that you won't be able to function. And be like, thanks, that was the best I ever had. She's gonna be like, it didn't even go in. So don't worry about positions and things like that. Let's just start with the basics. Try not to come in your pants when you finally get around a woman, alright? Bro, I'm too lazy for that. Ain't got time. Sorry, I gotta hit you guys with it every once in a while. I feel like if I don't at least give you one zinger, what are you gonna do? Huh? Assume that I'm your favorite e-girl? Impossible. I've gotta keep myself low on the ring so you guys can't, you know, expect too much out of me. Men and men were famous because they were quick and get to the next shot. Yeah, except most of the time your back is already aching from half the walking up the stairs. The getting to the next shot is just too much of a problem. So you take a little pit stop at your computer for 6 hours before you get up again to remember that you need to eat. Pretty much only do one. It's called face off. One position face off. Is that where you're like masturbating and it accidentally ejaculates into your face? Because I feel like I may have stumbled upon a gay porn category that didn't exist before that should exist now. I should get together with some of my gay friends and keep asking about this. Would this be something that the gay community would want? No, it's just cowgirl with a guy sitting. Oh. I feel like I'm just saying, my gay guys and my bi guys, that sounds like a category that could work, right? Is 10 cm to 12 cm a good size in that case? As an American, 10 to 12 of anything sounds like a lot, so you're doing fine, all right? All you gotta do is find an American girl who doesn't know metric, tell her it's 10 cm, and she's gonna be very happy. Wow, that's the biggest I ever been with. Easy. Are you backseat gay theorist? As a honorary gay person, as I'm bisexual, so I don't know, I always fall in the category of both. As a gay straight person, I can say without a doubt that yes, I am a theorist of gay things. Don't convert it for her. If you say 10 cm, right? Don't convert it for her. Just say 10 cm and let her enjoy herself. For that girl 17 to 20, I love women too much, but I probably fuck a guy quicker because women scare me. Okay, then here comes the question. You get down to it. You're in a room with your bro. You're giving them a bro job, as you guys do. You know, this is just a daily thing. You got to give your bros the bro jobs. That way they can release and allow their testosterone to recuperate. That way that women can become more attracted to them, of course, right? But then when you're giving your friend, your bro a bro job, right? At what point do you go, hey bro, am I a top or a bottom? Because I think that that's something you need to speak with your bro about on a personal level. Hey, I need to know, are you a top or a bottom, or am I a top, or are we switch? Let me know what's going on. Hey, Aiko, oh, thank you, Seto, thank you. You're a complete bottom? That's called, so now there are levels of bottom in the gay community. You could be a bottom where you're just taking it, or you could be a power bottom where you're not only taking it, but you're an active participant in the taking it, and you're moving yourself around. If you're just you could be like a lazy bear where you're kind of a thick boy and you get pounded. And then when you're a lazy boy and you're pounded, you're just a little bear on a bed. And that's kind of cute, isn't it? I consider that more of a teddy bear, if anything, because you're not really an active bear participant. You're more of a squishy little thing that's fun to touch. Do I need earmuffs on? I'm sorry. Can you stand up? I can. Believe it or not, these legs are not just for show. I can move them too. As you see, full range of motion right here. What are you wearing? Clothes, what are you wearing? These are important questions. Pink? Actually, purple. This is purple. You might want to get your eyes checked. This is a purple. Lazy boys are comfortable, right? I'm a thick boy sitting on a lazy boy. Hey, that's the way to live your life, my boy. Show your booty. I'll show you this band. Let me see your beautiful body. Suck my fat dick. Listen, chat, this isn't where we're horny. Believe it or not, even though I've got the large cleavage, a little bit of the midriff, and some thick old thighs, this isn't the horny zone. This is the zone where we talk about anything and everything except for the things that make you want to come. You see, the reason we can talk about sex is because either we're talking about it from a scientific matter, a matter that destroys your preconceived notions of sex, or we're talking about gay sex, which is an inherently uncomfortable thing to talk about for the general masses, because it puts you into a position where you have to imagine yourself being one of the gay people in the scenario. So then when you go and I'm telling you about bears and I'm telling you about them getting pounded on a bed, you have to either imagine yourself being the pounder or the poundee, which is probably an uncomfortable position to put yourself in. It sounds like a trap. Bro jobs. Well, I would do that. I'm definitely a lazy bear. I mean, that's literally my body type, so why not follow nature? Hey, that's the way to do it. Maybe, do you need a mod? No. Oh, my brain is burning. I'm sorry to mess with you guys. I'm sorry. In reality, let's talk about something else. I don't mind talking about anything. Do you get an orgasm while having sex and watching org? And, like, which org? Well, normally I go for the organization org, but sometimes I can go for the organism org. Personally, though, organization is more of my thing when I'm going and choosing my orgs. You can choose quite a lot of choices and variations in orgs organization when you're choosing that. You can choose either a organization of people, or you could choose organization of things, which is also inherently kind of a fun choice. Do I go for people or do I go for things? I don't think I'm going to sleep now. I'm afraid I might get pounded. Don't worry about it, chat. Actually, the gay community tends to be a little bit more picky in who they choose, so, you know, you don't have anything to worry about. I'm sorry, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. You're fine. I'm sure you're fine. You're beautiful the way you are. I'm decently popular in the gay community compared to the women community. I wonder if you fall into one of the categories. There's like a lot of categories in the gay community you could fall into. What are my ball size? Bigger than yours. I've only been here for a minute and I think there's still a lot to worry about. Don't worry about anything. Just have fun. Go with the flow until the flow starts flowing into the deep sea. And then don't go into the deep sea unless you can fight bears? Sharks. Yeah, sharks. Sharks. Let's talk about something. I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I can't recall what it is. So I remember thinking, oh, don't forget to talk to chat about this thing. Oh, right. I remember. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Okay, I changed my medication up, and so now maybe my depression won't be messing with me anymore. We'll see how it goes in the next couple weeks. We gotta wait and see. It takes a couple weeks for your medication to really kick in. So I gave my body a whole pounding, not in the sense we were talking about earlier, but in a whole physiological sense. Switched up my meds, changed, and got on antibiotics all at the same time. So I may be a little loopy as I'm just trying to function at this point. Yeah. What do you think about media bias on the Ukraine war? Both sides are pushing propaganda, but only showing their sides as victorious. That's how it goes in every single war. You don't have too much to worry about. What medication do I take now? I'm taking Wellbutrin 200 milligrams, so 100 in the morning and then 100 in the afternoon, and then 5 milligrams of Lexapro in the evening. I don't have to take... I was taking 10 milligrams of Lexapro, but apparently Wellbutrin ups the effects of Lexapro, so you can't like take as much. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Thank you. Some mess up your liver and stomach. Yes, that's why it's very important to always maintain taking your vitamins. and minerals and shit, and eating relatively healthy. I've been, now that I'm on antibiotics, I'm taking a ton of probiotics to help with my gut bacteria and to make it so I don't feel like throwing up 24 hours a day. Hopefully the depression will stay away. Yes. Lexapro turned all my homies into zombies. Really? I didn't have a problem with Lexapro, but I tend to stay on the lower dose side of things when it comes to my medication, because I understand that like sadness is a variation and depression is a variation. So the funny thing is, though, that's another problem with me. If I don't feel like rock bottom, I feel like I'm doing great, you know? So, hey, I don't feel like I can't find any motivation to not want to live, you know? Or, like, you know, when my brain starts to get into a really bad place, if I'm not there, I'm already happy as hell. Because I'm like, oh, I don't feel like dying anymore. I must be cured. But then, you know, not having any motivation to actually do anything in life is probably also not good. So I've been kind of reflective on that and how I approach explaining things to my doctor. Because like I have this problem with being relatively a people pleaser kind of person. Hey, I'm doing great. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. And I try not to let other people know just like the, you know, ramblings in my head. So I could suffer with something for a long time and nobody will know just how bad it's getting until I'm like, you know, fucked out of my head. But I've been working on that because I realize that's a problem and not a good thing. So I'm trying to express that even though this time I wasn't feeling like killing myself, I thought that I should tell her that I was feeling very depressed, and that I was having trouble finding the motivation to even do the laundry or not, you know, just lay in bed all day and those kind of things, where normally I would just kind of suffer through that. Me talking to my therapist about antidepressants developed by scientists. But what are the side effects? Me with weed. Stranger grew in a closet. Hell yes. Yeah, I grew up. Yes, funny. Do you think there could be a Russian civil war if Russia loses the Ukraine war? I think everyone in this, I think everyone in the West doesn't understand the actual gruesomeness and atrocities that happen inside of war because we are so detached from it. And I think in Western culture, it's not really in the forefront of our minds what a civil war actually looks like. A civil war is a gruesome, horrible battle, and many people die. It's filled with so much pain. So many people end up in camps, and so many people end up in prisons. Like, do you tell me right now in your state, right, in your physical state, do you feel like you would be capable of actually going and living in a prison for the rest of your life in order to fight against something that you dislike? It takes so much for people to move from an apathetic state to a proactive state. If things aren't horribly bad, the probability of them moving into that direction, especially in a country where your civil liberties are not up for debate. Okay, in Russia, if they say that is the law, that is the law. In a Western country, if they say that's the law, well, that's up for debate. You know, we don't necessarily agree with that. We elect people into positions of power. In a place where you're told what to think, you don't get that availability. Being able to say out loud, I could say, I hate America. I hate the way that America works. I hate everything about America. I can name politicians and say every politician I hate and say I wish horrible things would happen to them. Nothing will happen to me. Maybe people will be upset with what I say, but nothing, I'm not going to go to prison for it. In a different country, you will go to prison for it. Not necessarily in a more civilized country, but in very totalitarian governments, you're definitely not going to be in easy mode, kind of situation. Hell yeah, free them, brother. That's true. But for other reasons, it's more of the reason you would end up statistically in a prison here is because of the corruption in regards to the prison programs and lawmakers, and it's kind of like this whole horrible loop, which I'm totally against. In order for funding to go to certain police agencies, they have to clean up the streets. And how are you going to quantify cleaning up the streets without some kind of quota? Now, you don't get a quota in a sense of you've reached this amount of arrests and you get this amount of money on your paycheck, but it's the amount of money for your like police station, which is equally as bad, because then you're putting, you know, the quality of everybody's job on the line for how much you arrest. And then you also have for-profit prisons, which are incredibly horrible, which make it so you get more money for the more people who are put into those prisons, because, and then they have an equal slave labor, essentially, where you're not getting paid practically anything to do jobs that they can for-profit earn from. So they have this like slave labor thing, and then politicians are getting a kickback from that because those for-profit prisons are then funding politicians' campaigns, and then with that, then they send up more laws in order for police to get more kickback for arresting people, and it becomes this circular position where the people who are fucked are the people who live here. Don't forget the money made from private prisons here and then selling slave labor. Yeah, completely. 100%. So although it is a relatively good thing, I wanna clarify. Whenever I say it is good here in the West, it is good here in the West, but it's not perfect, and everything is up for change. And the wonderful thing I want to express is that we have the capability of making a change, at least on a verbal level, at least on a like human level. We can say, we can do protests, we can do all those things, although the quality of how well they work is very debated and probably not very high. However, we have the capability of even saying anything at all, which is sad, but we are coming from situations where people were dictated from kings and dictated from emperors, and you know, you had totalitarian governments and you had slave labor, so things are moving on a historical level slowly, but it is changing. Being in a country where you don't have the capability of even speaking about that, and you're talking about civil war, the likelihood of that is so low. I mean, even saying the wrong thing can land you in prison in those countries, so it's relatively weak. I mean, do you guys know about Tiananmen Square in China, in Beijing, right? If I recall correctly. Like, the reason... Okay, I'll tell you what, everyone knows the meme of Tiananmen Square. If you say that in a video game, you can get people kicked out of, like, people have to leave the lobby because they don't want to get arrested in China, because you're not allowed to speak about it in China. I'll tell you why you're not allowed to speak about it in China, is because Tiananmen Square was a protest set up by a bunch of students at Tiananmen Square, and the military rolled in a bunch of tanks and to stop the protesters, then had a media blackout for all of the media that was there and didn't allow them to watch what happened next, which was the decimation of all of those students. So if you guys think it's really easy to just start a revolution, it's such a privileged thing to think about. You know what I mean? I feel like it's such a... People who look around and go, oh, we'll just start some kind of revolution. Why don't they just go and overthrow the government? It's not like that. It's not that easy. It's you're looking at yourself in a situation where you can die. And you're looking at your family and friends, and they're all gonna die. And you want to know the best way to keep civilizations from not collapsing when you're in a totalitarian situation like that? You don't fuck with the people only that revolt against you. You also fuck with their family. So if I go and try and, you know, be a revolutionary, my family's also gonna get hurt. And that's how they keep people in line. Although in the Western media they portray Russia losing drastically on almost all fronts, Russia isn't using their military at full capacity, only around 20% of their military. I don't know. I'm not keeping up with that. I'm just telling you guys from an outsider perspective. I don't think that, or from a history buff perspective, as somebody who really enjoys history, I don't see a revolution happening unless things get really out of control. Now, the sanctions on the Russian economy probably may or could possibly start a revolution. If things get so bad that there's nothing left to live for, that's when revolutions tend to happen. You know, it has more to do with when you have nothing left to lose. You're so poverty stricken, you can't not fight. You fight. You know. Otherwise, if things are relatively okay, you kind of suffer through it. You don't want to deal with anything that could be worse than what you're in now. If you're in a situation where things are just so bad, you really do want to go against it. Says me. Well, yeah, of course, says me. I'm the one talking. Well, if no one has told you you're amazing today, oh, well, thank you so much, Steven. Thank you. I agree that citizens aren't going down to do anything in Russia, but I do see the oligarchs overthrowing Putin. I mean, I think that it could be quite possible that the oligarchs overthrow Putin. That's an interesting thing. If the oligarchs... So, actually, you know, history may be repeating itself in the USSR. Had that same issue. Soviet Russia had that same issue when it was the Soviet Union, where the oligarchs and the people in charge of the Soviet Union were so afraid of other people overthrowing them that they were murdering people inside of their cabinet, you know, because they didn't want to lose that power. That actually tends to be the big problem of anything that's like a totalitarian government, a government where one person tries to have full control, is that you're always looking over your back because you're afraid that anyone who's close to you may betray you, and then they may try and go and take over that position of power from you. So it's very common in that regard, and either it will get so bad that things where they end up having that internal struggle. It also has the capability of being so bad that he just murders everyone in his cabinet. I don't think it's necessary that people don't want to start a revolution. They're afraid because they're afraid that if they tried, they'd be squashed immediately. Yeah, that was exactly my point. You're not wanting to start something. I mean, right now, at least in the United States, I know plenty of people who want to start a revolution and change the way that our politics work because of all of the corruption inside of our government that we're incredibly aware of. The problem is that people don't want to sacrifice the comforts of their life, and that is true, and it's scary, and it's painful, and it's bloody, and you're possibly gonna die. And you think to yourself, well, maybe I could just do something else, you know, maybe I can work another way. It has to get pretty darn bleak for an entire population, all of the people to get up and go, no, this is fucked up, you know? It takes a lot. Don't forget the war is still a business. To weapon development make billions with these conflicts? Oh, definitely. Yeah, when rich people start to lose money, Putin is done. Yeah, that's possible. They might nix Putin and hopefully lead to more modern regime. That's possible. It's possible. I have COVID and pollen allergies at the same time. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That sounds horrible. Saw a Twitch streamer tracking her get out of Russia donations on screen and was like, oh man, it's a race between donations and FSB intervention. Actually, Steamy, thank you so much for the subscription. I've noticed a lot of people actually are leaving Russia. Economically, it makes perfect sense to get out, and because if you have there's been a lot of arrests about a lot of things. Even talking about things can get you in jail. Things are really, really rough on the citizens over there right now. Unfortunately, it is the best tactic to fight against a government is to fuck with the citizens. So the citizens can't do anything about the government that they have. And they tend to take the brunt of whatever happens. But, I mean, that's chess, isn't it? The pawns aren't really the most valuable thing, but at the same time, they're quite valuable. One thing people forget is if Putin gets killed, maybe in line somebody worse. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes it's okay with the devil you know, but sometimes it's better the devil you don't know. I mean, it just depends on how things end up, and that's the part of history that's a little wild to think about. And also, what's good for us in the West doesn't necessarily mean good for the Russian people. You know, it really depends. Any kind of major issue like this that can do tons of historical damage to people, or it could do tons of historical good. It's like, it's gonna have to go, you have to slodge through a lot of shit in order to get to the diamond. True. Iraq is the best example of Saddam Hussein. The country became chaos, yeah. Pawns make up half of your pieces, extremely valuable. Exactly. They're extremely valuable, but also not valuable. It's like a weird thing. All your pieces are valuable, but you start fucking with all the pawns, suddenly half of your military is gone. So you lose all your pawns, half your military is gone. So it's like a weird balance you have to make. You also don't want to lose any of the major pieces, but at the same time you can't really have a standing military without your pawns. Zelensky is the most powerful man in the conflict right now. If he is killed, he's a martyr. As long as he's alive, he's a hero and a symbol. He's a lose-lose situation for Russia. Yeah, I would agree. Although it helps. Aw, I bring you bliss. Yay! If you're dealing with depression, my go-to way of helping my depression when I have it, and it's really bad, is speaking with my doctor. My doctor, I don't know, I'm lucky right now because I have a doctor who actually talks and listens to me, and that's pretty helpful. But I find talking to somebody about how I'm feeling and working on figuring out why I'm feeling a certain way, or if it's just a chemical imbalance or whatever, and then working towards understanding that I know I'm in that kind of position at this time, and that I need to like try my best to not feel so, bad, which is like, taking a nice shower and cleaning my house or doing whatever I can, eating healthier, taking the small steps to make myself feel better in general. Shame on you had to go through that. I'm sorry. Hey, it's okay. I mean, people have to go through much worse than I go through, and that's not really, now I'm hearing myself say that out loud, it's not really, I guess it's not really a good thing to say that, is it? Like, yeah, people have to go through much worse than what I'm going through, but it doesn't negate that I go through something. And maybe I need to think about that. I appreciate you guys saying that to me then. That's all I need to say. I appreciate you guys. Did you see the Will Smith slap? Yeah, I did. So, I don't think that that's the reason that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. I think that it was just something that happened as well. I don't know how important somebody doing something, like, I don't think it negates anything that else is going on. I think that you can only say so much about something that's happening, like a war, and sometimes having a break from that, people will take anything for it, I do the same thing. Don't do that. Yeah, forgone opportunities to try and fix myself because other people have it worse. Yeah, of course. Oscar ratings are low. They needed to gain relevance. I mean, that's true. People are probably going to watch for next year's outburst. I think the problem is, like, when you're thinking of the Oscars are so boring. It's such a self-congratulatory thing. A bunch of rich people getting in a room, clapping for a bunch of other rich people about things that they all agree or kind of agree matter. It feels like such a circle jerk. So as a human, a normal human, why should I care about that? Why do I care about your guys' self-congratulatory award show? It's weird to me. I can't get into it personally. They get paid millions of dollars every minute. I doubt a little slap is gonna matter to them. That's true. Hold on one second. If I'm laying in this position, the bed's gotta go flat. There we go. Felt like I was leaning against a hill. Careful, girls. Self-proclaim. Well, I feel like a regular human for the most part. You know? I mean, I'm a regular human who just happens to have some people watching me on the internet. I don't really feel different though. When the cameras go off, I just feel so normal. Maybe I forget that I'm not as regular as people might think. I've always felt regular though. I don't think I'm that irregular. Can we go back to talking about porn and sex rather than world politics? Yeah, that's fine. Of course. I got you. We're talking about something different now. Like, they're all partying and everyone is like, wow, I want to be there. I think, yeah, it's probably like the balls. You're right. The ball, and being a princess at the ball or being a prince at the ball. Everyone is looking at very rich elite people, right? I don't like the word elite because I feel like it's kind of demeaning to the masses. I feel like it's like a bunch of wealthy people getting together and getting dressed up and then giving each other awards. And no offense, maybe I would give a shit more about the awards if they started producing actual good movies for the most part. However, I can't say that I've really been interested in any of the movies that have been put out for like years. I feel like for years I haven't even had enjoyment in it. I hate in porn when the woman looks so uncomfortable. Dude, right? I feel like if you're not enjoying yourself when you're filming, like what's the point of filming, you know? But it also helps to remember though, like when they're doing this stuff, they're doing it for like hours. So even though you're watching something for like you're watching the scene happening, they have to like retake the scene over and over. I can't imagine that being very good on your vagina. It feels like that's probably why it always looks so dry whenever they're having sex. I never even took a second to think about this, but geez, that's probably the truth. They probably are feeling like really uncomfortable, right? Oh, do I? I kind of look like a young Vanessa. Really? That's sweet. Thank you. Yeah, you would think, definitely. I'd be down if they deserve those awards. Any of the Academy, I don't watch them anymore. The movies are based on what they get more ratings and good publicity. Totally. I almost never even watch movies anymore because of how actually boring they are. I feel like there's such a waste of time. I feel like the plots feel so repetitive and uninteresting, and I don't really care. Don't forget that ABC Network is on. It's owned by Disney, and what a coincidence that Disney movie wins award every year. Yeah. You look like a young who? Vanessa Hudgens. I appreciate that. Young anyone is nice to hear. I love hearing young anything. There's so much big dick where a woman is trying not to look like she's in pain and using her hands to block the guy from going all the way in. Yeah. That, dude, I don't understand that. Where it looks like something, it doesn't look comfortable. A lot of porn doesn't even look enjoyable. When you're watching it, sometimes it's almost enjoyable to watch because it's like watching a train wreck, you know? Like, sometimes I'll be enjoying myself, I'm going through the motions, right? And then I find something, I click on it, and then my horniness level just drops. And then I'm just sitting there watching this thing that I shouldn't be watching because it's uncomfortable and weird. But then I need to complete it because I'm watching this thing that's uncomfortable and weird. And it's hitting me right in the cringe zone, where now I went from having a pleasurable evening with myself to a very uncomfortable evening where I'm just sitting there. And I've already pulled my pants up, and I'm just sitting there watching this wild experience happen. Does bed meta? Well, no, I call it bed meta because I used to have floor bed meta. And floor bed meta was when I had a floor bed, but then I just have a regular bed now, so I call it bed meta. I saw an interview with a male porn star who said he can't get hard anymore without meds because his body is so used to using them to make porn. Oh, but I mean, that is kind of why I like the new adult industry turn from being produced porn to being like more of a thing that people make on their own. You know, I like where porn has been going recently. It wasn't until I got more involved in it that I was so I felt like it was such a positive change, you know? I feel like there's a lot more it's toned down a lot in pornography. And I think it's probably healthier for our brains to have things a little bit more toned down, you know? Sex is all just a connection. Without it, the feeling is just pathetic. Sort of. Self-published, yeah, self-published is it's really nice to see. It's actually very enjoyable. I've subbed to a couple of people in the self-published world, in the fans world, and I found that like their content is so much more exciting for me because it doesn't feel like I'm watching something where I feel like I kind of want to pull back while I'm watching. It blows my mind how many videos are made a day. I know, right? It's crazy. You can find any vagina you want. Like any aesthetic vagina you want. Or penis you want. There's no discrimination here. You have the world as your oyster. You are a very beautiful, smart, well-spoken woman. Watch you often, and I think you're a nice person. Hey, well, thank you. People be fucking. Well, even now, it's not like the girls are put into a position where they have to choose to be with a guy at all. Or a guy doesn't have to be with them, you know, anyone he doesn't want to be with. Actually, a lot of people don't know this about the porn industry, but did you know a lot of guys who get into porn acting at first, they have, or sex work, they have to do male-on-male porn when they get into the industry. So, like, it's not just a bad thing for guys, it's a bad thing for girls, it's a bad thing for guys a lot of the time in these like published porn industries. It can be very draining on the body, and even when you're having like issues in your physical, like when you're doing that kind of work, you're gonna need to take breaks, right? But you can't take breaks when you're in a contract, so it's like very difficult. You're putting your body under strain, and it's more stunt work than acting work, if that makes sense. treated like meat. Completely. Penises are weird. Can't confirm, have one. All sexual organs are weird because we don't really, we don't look at them often in public, you know what I mean? It's not common to be walking around and seeing something down there. So I think it's kind of a funny thing to look at no matter what. Why couldn't the ladies be like you in high school? The bigger breasts, the dumber or bitchier they were. They clearly gave you brain power. It's true. I don't know, in high school everyone's kind of dumb and bitchy because we're all going through hormones and we're all stupid. So high school is like a bad time to really expect much out of humans. The worst part about high school, I'll explain, is that your brain actually doesn't stop developing until you're 24. It can vary, but 24, 26 is usually where it stops, between 24 and 26. And the part of the brain that's developing is your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that controls your regulation of emotion, your ability to critically think, all of those things. So, of course, people are going to be trying to fit in at that point. You're going through puberty, you're discovering sexuality for the first time, hopefully, and you're going through so many changes in mood and emotion, and you actually discover right around that time, around 13 and 12 years old, that other people can have thoughts about you that are negative, you know? You start to realize the value of fitting into society, or fitting into your peer group, and that can be overwhelming because when you're in elementary school, although it's important to fit in for the most part, it's not as detrimentally important as in high school. It's like almost like audaciously important. How could mom don't treat me like that in front of my friends, that kind of feeling, you know, because you feel that feeling of no, I'm so embarrassed so hard, and that tones down as you get older. So because I'm an old broad, my ability to think and rationalize is luckily a little better. A new wrinkle can form every day. And the greatest thing about your wrinkles, I'm having my autistic and hormones come later. Hey, good for you. That's awesome. Actually, probably helpful in your brain development. I really like that. That's fun to think about. The fun thing about your brain is the more you use it, actually, the better it is. Your brain can create new pathways with all new information that you take in. So it really is kind of like a muscle. It's not a muscle, it's an organ, but it's kind of like a muscle in the sense that the more you use it, the better it becomes. Muscles have to tear down in order to regrow, where organs, your organ just builds new pathways, like little super highways inside your brain. Freaking cool, right? Funny because my whole high school was about getting good grades, no feelings or relationship thoughts, whatever. Really? Gosh, in my school, like, if you weren't just naturally brilliant, everyone, it was like the stigma when I was in high school was either you're naturally gifted, intelligent, or, you know, you're a nerd for trying, you know? Oh, I'm just coasting through school. I don't have anything to worry about. But in reality, like, people definitely did, and that was probably the problem with me, because I wanted to be cool. I didn't really want to try, and then, you know, if you don't try, you don't get good grades. Also a little bit of attention problems at that point. I wasn't very good at paying attention. My brain would just like drift off a lot, and I would try and focus and my brain would go somewhere else, and I was like really frustrated with that. Almost 5 p.m. Yes, I know! My brain is a super highway, runs from Coffee Town to social media to Porno Bay. Happened in mid-grade 7. I got so fucking horny, but then I chilled out. Yeah, that's the crazy thing too. When you start going through puberty, your horniness levels are through the roof. You're like, and girls and guys, it's a lot of people think it's just boys that go through this experience, but actually women go through the same experience of incredible horniness. And
that's why it's very important to talk about hormones to children, and I think it's why it's important to somehow talk. I haven't figured out how you would explain it, although I'm not having a child, so I guess it doesn't matter. But I was thinking to myself, how would I have liked to have been introduced to all of this, and how would I have liked to dealt with it all, you know? That drifting happened to me because the teachers were always so slow in their rhythm. Really? I don't know. I felt like I just couldn't. I would be sitting there, I'm telling myself to focus. I'm like, focus on this, right, take your notes. And then my brain's like, I'm like, come on, please, I'm getting C's. I thought it was everyone. Thank God for masturbation. Sometimes you just have to wander into the bathroom and yeah, completely. When I have a child, I want Aiko with a mini Aiko. I'm not really sure about having a mini Aiko. Well, one, because of the career path I've chosen, I wouldn't want to make my kid ashamed of me for, you know, the alternative ventures I do, but also for a lot of other reasons. The idea of bringing another child into this world and then potentially having it go through the same kind of experience I went through makes me really terrified. I wouldn't want anything to feel sad, you know? Like, I wouldn't want the kid that I create to feel bad. What do you think about gender ideology? I think it doesn't really matter to me very much. If somebody wants me to call them and I'm just going to use something audacious just to get my point across. If you want me to call you a duck, I'll call you a duck. If you want me to call you a female, I'll call you a female, a male. Whatever you want me to call you, I'll call you it because I have basic respect. And it's not my autonomy to choose, you know? I'm not you, but I can respect you enough to call you whatever you want me to call you, because I can be a decent human being, you know? I'm not in your body and I can't feel what you feel, so I would just hope to give you the same love and care that I would want to feel if I was feeling whatever you were feeling, you know? So even if, like, and I only chose something audacious because to me it doesn't matter. Even if you felt like a duck, and I don't mean this in a demeaning sense, but even if you felt like a duck, I could respect you enough to call you a duck, because who am I to say you don't feel like a duck or you don't connect like that? Although if you're a furry, you're a fucking degenerate loser and I can never respect you. But everything else I can, okay? I mean, if a guy feels like a girl internally, right? If a biological male is what I mean. A biological male feels like a female inside. That's got to be a lot of pain and suffering to deal with, because not enough people are going to be empathetic to that scenario. And a lot of people are going to put their own thoughts and opinions on you, when all you're trying to do is go through life and have a relatively normal, happy life, right? So why can't I give you enough respect, me who's a furry? I'm just kidding. I always mess around with furries because I feel like if you're a furry, you kind of want to be bullied a little bit, right? I'm only annoyed at people who are extreme and yelling at you. Like, if you look like a woman and I call you a she, you say, no, I'm a man. You can call me he, but I'm going to change my whole view and ask. I don't think that most people would expect you to ask. I think anyone who I've met who's trans, and I have a ton of trans viewers. I'm very proud of all of my trans viewers who've come out to me discreetly and told me, back when I was a baby streamer. And for me, it doesn't matter if you feel that way, you know? It doesn't matter if you feel like a girl or a guy or whatever. I don't care. I care about you feeling comfortable and happy around me because I would want to feel comfortable and happy around you. So I don't think anyone that I've ever talked to has been upset when somebody doesn't know right away, and nobody goes, hey, are you a girl or a guy? Because that would be a little inappropriate to say, isn't it? When you're talking to day-to-day people. You could just say, if you're unsure or whatever, most people just tell you, hey, I'm Stacy. I'm a girl. If you're trans, most people will be pretty blunt with you. At least all of the trans people I've communicated with have been very blunt with me, and it's been very simple. As long as you treat them like humans, who gives a shit? I only have a trans dentist, and she needs to learn how to control her boobs. I was mostly talking about extreme people on the internet. Yeah, well, extreme people on the internet are mostly extreme for attention, is what I've realized. People who are extreme are usually extreme for attention. The people who are real humans living with a day-to-day struggle that's probably very difficult for a lot of them, not for everyone, but for a lot of them, is probably, a very challenging thing. When I realized I was bisexual, I was very challenged by it, and I grew up in a very, very open environment. No one in my family is homophobic at all. Being bisexual is they told me that if I was gay, they wouldn't care. Now, I wonder if they just thought I was gay. But they told me right away. They told me and my little brother, if you're gay, we don't care. They just said it. We were like, all right, cool. So even that was still challenging for me, coming out and being bisexual, because, what if other people hate me for it, or whatever other thing? So all I can do is try and treat people with respect in situations where I would want to be treated with respect if I were them. Not gonna lie though, I've always thought trans people were a little strange. I have a friend who are transsexual, and I never say anything about their lifestyle. I operate with class, but still for me it's weird. Well, of course anything that's not typical is gonna feel weird because it's not something that we're accustomed to, right? If all of a sudden you're going down the street, right, and you see a 3-wheeled car, you're gonna think to yourself, well, that's a little weird, right? Because anything that isn't just normal is or I guess common is weird. It's rare. It's different. It's something new, and so it's okay to feel maybe even confused or unsure. But that's fine. As long as you're classy in it and you are respectful, it's okay to feel like things are weird sometimes. It must feel terrible if your family is not okay with who you are. Completely, right? Completely. So, I don't know. For me, I think that the best way to operate in life, and if you guys ever feel like you need to take this and make it part of your life, I would feel pretty happy about that. But I think it's important to treat people the way you would want to be treated if you were them, And I think that really does help navigate these kind of situations. If you were going through something, imagine putting yourself into their perspective and you were them. And you walk a mile in their shoes, right? You are them for a day. And you go through an experience that they went through. How would you want somebody to treat you? And I think that's the easiest way to treat other people with kindness and dignity. How can I start streaming on Twitch like you? I think you should look it up on the Googles. Then I'm weird for being normal. Straight men are so straight male self. So there you go. Maybe we're all a little odd. Completely. It's going to be weird. My best friend is suddenly saying he'll do a transition. It's going to be tough for me to get used to it just because I'm not good with change. Yeah, that's okay. Exactly. If you attend a gay bar as a straight, you would be the weird one. It's perfectly acceptable to feel like things are weird. I feel like we demonize confusion and we demonize learning things, you know, and we demonize the path of change. And it's like, if you don't perfectly understand and give full, I don't even want to say something like support, but if you have any kind of weird feelings in your heart, right, then you're a bad person. But that's not true. It's okay to realize, oh, I'm going through a situation where I haven't navigated things before, and I'm trying to learn how to be appropriate in this situation and empathetic to other people's scenarios. And that's a beautiful thing, you know? I'm learning to navigate a scenario I've never actually navigated before, and that's cool. I'm good for trying to do that. And if I have questions, I'm gonna look them up on the internet and try and learn and understand and discover what other people are going through. That way I could be a better friend to my friend who's going through a transition or whatever. Well, I wanted to get a compliment for once, so I made a Grindr account, aww, and sucked some dick as thanks. Not into it though, tasted like flesh. Don't know why people are doing it. You're so funny. I have to get the, oh, you're Christian, so you must hate trans people a lot. And my answer to that is no. I don't hate trans people. The people I worship preach loving one another. Yes, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. That is completely true. If it doesn't matter, it shouldn't matter, in my opinion. Humans are humans, and loving one another should be the way to do it, you know? If good humans care for other humans in a nice, good way. And whatever your path is on that human life we travel, as long as you're treating people with dignity and respect and love and care, everything's gonna be alright, you know? I kind of like giving blowjobs because of the happy faces. I went to a drag show for the first time a few weeks ago, was pretty drunk and high at the same time. Didn't get it at all. Dudes dressing up as women and others giving them cash. I don't understand the appeal, you know? Not everything is for everyone, and don't worry so much if you don't get something. Like, I'm sure a lot of people don't get a lot of things in life. Personally, not into NASCAR, right? I don't get the appeal. I see the car going around in circles, and it just seems, it's very loud. It's very not fun for me. When I look at it, I'm not interested, you know? I've never been to a drag show, so I don't really know if I like that or not. But there's so many things in life that we can go, that's not really for me. If that's something you like, that's cool. Not really for me. You know, y'all sort of, ma, sore desio, wait, no. How can I forget? Ma, hito sore zore desione. To each their own, I guess. You know? I may not be human. No! Too much emphasis on this country is put on religion and society to dictate what is right. But there's too much unwarranted judgment on people who are different. Totally. There's an ancient history that different people could be the normal ones. In life, it's so funny, we have this mentality that people who are different are like a problem, but the truth is we're all different in so many different ways, right? So there is no typical normal human, you know? What is a typical normal human? Like, find the most normal person in the world. You couldn't, because there's so many clashing cultures and ideals and interests and everything. So if humans feel like other humans are weird because they're different, it might be a good idea to take a look in the mirror and see how different they are themselves. With that said, I must go. I love you guys. Goodbye.